Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Rebecca's Wild Side. My name is Rebecca, and today I have a podcast episode for you. So this is the first podcast of 2024, and I have a couple of finished objects to show you, quite a few cast-ons, and actually a handful of acquisitions as well. I will start off with what I'm wearing. This is my finished Clint Classic pullover. It is a pattern by Ventzel. I apologise, I have been calling her Anna in the previous episodes, but now I have come to realise it is Anne. She is a Danish designer. I know a lot of people are designing a colourwork, they're knitting a colourwork design of hers at the moment. But yeah, this is the Clint Classic. I don't know if you can see, I should probably discuss the elephant in the room. Not that it's an elephant, but I made the mistake of popping this in the tumble dryer when it was wet, but I caught it just in time. So it is partly felted, but it fits perfectly. So I got very, very lucky there. Yeah, it shrunk, the ribbing shrunk in places. As you can see, it's quite tight around the cuffs now, but I quite like that, and around the waist, which I did make a modification in the design to do a really chunky band here, ribbed band. And I also went down, I think I went down 2 needle sizes to try and get that cinched waistband. Yeah, I did also make a slight modification to the cuffs. I don't think they were supposed to be as tight. It was still supposed to be, there weren't supposed to be any decreases on the sleeve, but it wasn't quite supposed to be quite so tight around the wrists, but I really like it. Other than that, it's completely to pattern. This is knit up in 2 strands of Isager Alpaca 2 in the colour E0, which is their undyed yarn, and 1 strand of Tynn silk mohair, Sandnes garn, in the colour, I think it's called Off-White, but it's 1012 from memory. That is also my first finished object. I did knit the smallest size. I think I was on gauge before I blocked it and shrunk it. I don't think it shrunk that much, because when I finished it and I tried it on, it still had this kind of shape. Yeah, I love this. I've been away and I didn't take it with me for over Christmas, so I haven't got to wear it as much as I'd like to, but I'm so looking forward to wearing it. It goes with pretty much everything because the colour is really cool. Oh, it is a broken ribbed stitch, which was new for me. This is my first textured jumper, which is super exciting. And yeah, I feel really proud of myself because it's so easy to just be like, oh, I'll do stockinette and get through it. But this was actually super, super exciting. It took me I needed a little bit of motivation to get the sleeves done, but it didn't actually take that long. Very happy, not itchy at all. I thought because there's a lot of like alpaca and natural fibres in this, it was going to be super itchy. It's really not that itchy. And I'm wearing it, I can wear it directly on my skin. And I wouldn't say I'm sensitive, but I'm not sensitive. Like, I don't like being itchy, and it doesn't itch me, so very happy with that. The yarn combination is not something I would like to work with again, although I love the finished product, and I actually really love that it's part felted. When it was finished, there was a slight looseness to the material, although the size was similar. It was quite see-through. Obviously, by felting it, it got the fibres to like mashed together, and now it is not see-through at all. But I did have a bit of a tough time with the yarn combination. This was the third project I started with the yarn combination. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. Something I did realise when I bought this yarn, actually, my favourite things, Knitwear designed a sweater. I want to say it's number 25. It's got the big, she did it in green, like a kind of bright green to start. But she used like 4 different Isager yarns together. One of them was Alpaca too, I think. So to me, it seems like the Alpaca 2, or maybe Isager yarns in general, need to be held often with other things. I don't know. I really wanted to make that sweater in the exact yarn combination and colour that she used, and yeah, I couldn't justify spending that much money because so many different yarns were needed. Tynn Silk Mohair, as far as I'm aware, it has wool in it as well, and that's supposed to give it a different drape. Ooh. I don't know if it's because I held it with 2 other strands, but I didn't notice it to be different to any other mohair, but I've heard that it can be. The colour, I just wanted a cream pullover. I think the original, actually, I think I owned the yarn before I saw the original design, Anne's design, and it happens to be off-white as well. So cream, off-white. This is definitely more cream than off-white. But yeah, love it. That is my first finished object. This is my self-drafted Truman Show pullover. It's so big. This was made for my fiance. Yeah, we were watching the Truman Show and he wears a jumper. It's like a turtleneck, and I really liked it, and I couldn't find anything similar online, so I decided I was going to design it myself and make it. It's a 3x2 rib. Obviously it's very oversized because it is for a man. Ed is a men's medium, but on me, okay, the sleeves are way too long. My fingers just stick out. And also, so somehow, even though I counted perfectly, this sleeve is a lot longer than this sleeve. Or not a lot, but noticeably. Ed did pick up on that when he tried it on, but we'll roll them up for now. So yeah, on me it's just a huge oversized jumper, and yeah, I love it. So as I said, it's a 3x2 rib. The way I made it, sorry, it has a lot of alpaca on it. The way I made it is interesting because what I did was I knit a front rectangle, added 2 tiny rectangles. No, I added a front rectangle this way, like this. And then I added like 2 shoulder strips, and then I did a back bit. And then here, I connected it in the round and knit down and stuck a 1x1 rib on the end, on the bottom. And then I picked up for sleeves and rapidly decreased. I think I decreased every 3 rows because I noticed that the underarm hole I'd made was a bit too big. So yeah, rapidly decreased and did sleeves and did a 1x1 rib on the sleeves. So, oh, and then I picked up the collar and did a 1x1 rib on the collar. And yeah, let me know what you think. You know, Ed loves it. It fits him really well, which I was really worried about. I can get away with wearing it, I think, so that's like a plus. It is knit up in 1 strand of Drops Nepal, which is their Aran weight yarn, in the colour, ooh, it's either dark grey or grey mix. I'll put it here. And 1 strand of Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk, which is a super fluffy yarn, in the colour black. And it made this. Yeah, there's not much I'll say about it, other than making the underarms a bit too deep, because therefore then I get this here. Other than that, I love it. Ed really likes it, so that's really all that matters. I'm gonna keep this on for the rest of the video because I have it on now, and yeah. But the sleeves are so big on me. But I really like them. What did I do next? So if you watched my previous episodes, you'll know that I spent Christmas in Paris, which was a really fun trip. It was so busy. So I planned to make a Christmas vlog because I visited Lil Weasel out there, which is an amazing yarn store. Highly recommend if you're in Paris, you need to go. And it was the only yarn store that I visited. It was actually one of the only yarn stores I could find out there. We arrived on the 23rd of December, and I wasn't gonna go on the first day, but thank goodness I did, because I tried to go back on the 26th on Boxing Day, and then I noticed on the sign it said closed from the 24th till the 4th of January. So thank God I went on the 23rd, because if I hadn't have gone, I wouldn't have got there. And got all the wonderful things that I picked up. I took 3 projects with me because I was going to Spain after Paris to spend New Year's Eve with my family out there. I wanted to take 3 projects because I kind of didn't know how much knitting I'd have, and I also didn't know if I was going to get any yarn while I was away. I decided to cast on the plane a pair of Scrappy Mittens. These are self-drafted as well, actually. I've never made I've made fingerless gloves, but I've never made a closed pair of mittens. And I actually remade these twice while I was away. They are really fun. I have some 20-gram skeins of hand-dyed yarn from the Yarnside hand-dyed yarn company. So I think I only used 20 grams of each colour for both of these pairs. 1 strand of Misty Hedgerows and 1 strand of Spring Awakening. I don't know why that was so hard for me to remember. It's right there for me. Held with 2 strands of Mohair, but in 2 different colours. So how do I explain this? So 4 strands of yarn, 2 strands of sock yarn, 2 strands of Mohair. The Mohair was Drops Kid Silk in the colour Light Beige, Knitting for Olive in the colour Dusty Artichoke. Look how much I have left over. I think these are whole 20-gram skeins, which I didn't even cut into because obviously they were chunky. These were knit on 3.5mm needles, and it's just 1 by 1 rib, and then I winged it. So 4 strands of yarn. I've actually got videos from Paris, so I will insert them now, but I was actually knitting in the museums. I was knitting everywhere in Paris. So I was knitting those in the museums because they were super easy. I just put the yarns in my pocket and knit away. So that is my 3rd and final finished object. Oh, I have another finished object which I forgot to talk about. So I don't have it here with me, but I have photos and I have footage, so I will show you that. This finished object is my Harris hood by Coco Amour Knitwear. I think I'd only just cast this on in the last podcast. I don't think I'd finished it. I knit this up in 1 strand of Drops Lima in the colour Almond and 1 strand of Drops Brushed Alpaca in the colour Almond. It's a super lovely pattern. It's a very new pattern. I highly recommend if you're looking for a really cool hood or balaclava, try it out. I really loved my yarn combination. It was super fluffy. Again, purposefully this time, I actually felted it a bit. And there's not much to say about this one other than it's a very well written design. I have got loads of use out of it because it's super warm and it was chilly. So that is my Harris hood by Coco Amour Knitwear. before I talk about my whips and my new cast-ons, I'm going to quickly touch on, so I took 2 new projects away. I don't know why I did this. I guess I was itching to cast on. So I will say I have not managed to work on my Mist Sketch Sweater by Florence Miller. That is going to get worked on over the next month. That is my kind of next, after I finish one of my next whips, I'm going to start working on that and get that done. I haven't managed to work on my champagne cardigan, my bright red champagne cardigan, which I spoke about. That will also be getting worked on next. No more bigger cast-ons until I finish the Mist sketch, and then as I start working on the champagne cardigan, I might allow myself another cast-on. So because of that, I think everything I'm about to show you are new cast-ons. And I will start with the one which has the most progress. So just before I went away, just before I got to Paris, or before I left for Paris, I decided to start working on my mum's Celeste Sweater, Celeste pullover. I have made this before. It was a huge success. It was my first colourwork piece. I loved it, and my mum really wanted one, so a while ago I let her pick out some colours. I've knit it up in the same yarn as I did my other one, which is Drops Lima. I'll go into the colours in a minute. And I let her pick the colours, and I decided to get started, and this is what I've got. So I think this is a pretty decent amount of work I've got done. There is obviously a huge difference. I'm gonna grab my other Celeste and show you. So as you can see here, there is obviously quite a big difference. Firstly, this one's collar is much longer, and that's because my mum has a very long neck. My mum's like a swan. I don't know if that's in all the best ways. She's very tall and very slender, and she's got a lovely long neck. So she's got an extra long neck, extra long collar compared to mine. It looks very short there, but it's actually decent. And I had some wheat. This colour is called Wheat, left over from this one. Okay, that can go away now. So I asked her if she wanted a different colour collar, and she said yes, and I love that I've done that. So that is why. And then to try and... I didn't have much left. I only have a teeny tiny bit left. So, but to try and incorporate it into the colour work, I replaced just a couple of strands here. Just a couple of strands with the wheat. But yeah, this is what we've got so far. This is knit in the smallest size, which I think for the Celeste... Oh, there is. So Mum is getting an extra small. Well, I'm sure I probably knit the extra small. Maybe I didn't, who knows. I also knit this on bigger needles than I did the other one, and that is because A, I wanted it to grow quicker, and B, I didn't use a big enough needle for the colour work on the other one, and therefore it wasn't the same gauge as the body and the sleeves. And C, I was hoping I'd get a little bit more length out of it, because when I did the yoke on the first one, the yoke wasn't quite as long as it said in the pattern that it should have been. So I'm pretty sure I got all of that with this one. It looked a lot bigger when I was holding it up, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a similar size to mine. So the colours I knit this up in, this is left, it's all in Drops Lima, which is their DK weight, super affordable yarn, love it. Anything that uses Peer Gynt, I highly recommend Drops Lima as an alternative. It is 65% wool, 35% alpaca, so super warm and cozy. And it's a really round yarn, so it's really nice to work with in my opinion. And the colours that I used for this, the main colour is Jeans Blue. The grey here is Quarry Grey. The green, which is super pretty, it's like a mint green, that's called Sage Green. And then This is the navy from my other Celeste sweater, which I don't think is called navy. It's not. This is called, thank goodness I have all my orders from Wool Warehouse right here. This is called Blue Indigo, this navy blue. And to me, it's a true navy, but it's called Blue Indigo because I've ordered the navy in Drops Flora, which is the same kind of yarn, and it doesn't look navy at all. So got very lucky with that one. And then this brown is the main color of my other project, and that is Deep Taupe. So those are the colors I've used. I forgot to mention the patterns by PetiteKnit. Really happy about this. I did a sleeve, so I made another modification. The sleeve is to pattern, apart from I put a little bit of colour work at the bottom because A, it cinched it in a bit like the cuff on my Clint Classic. And then I didn't have, so I got my mum to try it on, and it was already really long. Although she has really long arms, it was already really long. So I wasn't able to put too much ribbing on, but I think it looks really cute. She loves it. She's already tried it on, and everything seems to look really good. I think that the collar of this, I knit on 3.75 needles. And then for the colour work, I jumped straight up to a 5mm needle, which I think was a really good choice because my body and sleeves are knit on a 4.5mm needle. And it seems to look pretty uniform right now. Yeah, I think as soon as I finish the sleeve, I'm gonna start the ribbing. It looks very high up, but it's a vibe and I like it. Although it does mean I have to do 1x1 rib for a very long time. But in this yarn combination, I love 1x1 rib. In this yarn combination, it's so smooth and uniform, and it's very satisfying to me, so I don't actually mind doing it. As it said in the pattern, I did a German twisted cast on, and it just looks so nice. I love this pattern. I have to stop myself from doing another one for myself again. Moving on to my second new cast on, my second whip. Why did I want to make this? I know why I wanted to make this. So I was shopping with my fiance, Ed, and we went to his favourite store, which is Massimo Dutti, and we saw a jumper in there, which he loved. I will insert photos of the jumper. And it has a 2x2 ribbed collar. I picked up on that straight away and I was like, that's cool. And I think it also had 2x2 ribbed sleeves and bottom. So I thought, let me try and make this. I know I can marl yarns, try and get it a similar colour. Let's see what I can do. It was a really simple drop shoulder, plain 2x2 ribbed jumper. So this is knit up in Drops Flora, but this is knit up in 3 strands of Drops Flora. So this is the yarn. These are the colours I went with. They are colours light grey, white fog, and sand, and this is what the whip looks like. So this is a Sonja Sweater by PetiteKnit. It was the most straightforward drop down shoulder that I could find, and it's my first proper drop shoulder. I think I said drop down shoulder, but it's my first proper drop shoulder design with this specific construction, and I did not understand it at all when I stopped it. Even though it's like super easy and it's a staple, I couldn't get my head around it. But here it is, and I have held the 3 yarns together. Now, obviously, it is not as marled as I expected it to be. It's very low contrast. This is knit on 4mm needles, so it is a very tight gauge. Drops Flora is a fingering weight yarn. It is the same content as the Lima and the Nepal, which is 65% wool, 35% alpaca. I think I am off gauge. So the Sonja Sweater is a super oversized, very unisex sweater in my opinion. And I decided to knit a medium. Oh no, I decided to knit a small because it is so oversized, and the original one that I saw wouldn't have been so oversized on a man. And I looked at the measurements and it would fit. The small would fit with the same amount of ease as we liked for Ed. But when I started knitting, I soon realised I wasn't on gauge. So the gauge for the Sonja sweater is 17 stitches and 24 rows per 10 centimetres, and this is 19 stitches. So I don't know how small that's going to make it. It looks fine, but we'll see. And as I like to say, if it's too small for Ed, then it'll fit me perfectly. So another one for me. And if that is the case, then I will buy him the jumper that he wants from Massimo Dutti, because I told him that I would make him it. But yeah, this is my Sonja sweater. So it's a drop-down sweater. You knit the back panel first. It's a straight rectangle, and then you do short rows around the neck and on the sleeves to create this. And I've just joined in the round. Yeah, so this is a little while off being finished. It's super nice because it is stockinette. I can just do it, but I also have only stockinette left on Mum's Celeste pullover, so I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know when this is going to get done. I really want to finish my mist sketch sweater, so I feel like that has to take priority over this. I really want to get this done for springtime. But I have plenty of time coming up, so I'll be working on it. I'm really excited to do collars. Okay, so I love knitting collars and cuffs and kind of ribbing. But picking up stitches, I love it. I love picking up stitches. Why? I know some people don't enjoy it. I love doing it. Which is really weird as well, because I pick them up backwards. So when I pick up stitches, the first round that I have to do, when I knit those stitches, I have to knit through the back loop because I pick them up backwards. But yeah, real thing about picking up stitches, and I just love knitting collars. If I could just knit collars over and over again, I would. 2 cast-ons done, 1 to go, I think. I really hope I haven't missed anything. It's been a super hectic season. Everybody knows what Christmas is like. I'm usually the type who is like, I'm not doing anything for Christmas. Yeah, so I really hope I haven't forgotten anything, but I have 1 more cast on, which I am super excited about. It is also an acquisition. So while I was in Paris, I visited Lil Weasel, which is their yarn shop there, and they had some Filcolana Arwetta. Arwetta. It's quite hard to say Arwetta. I don't know how the Americans say it either. Filcolana Arwetta. So I picked up 2 skeins of this in grey. It is a sock yarn. It is 20% nylon, 80% virgin wool. I'm halfway through a row, that's so bad. You guys are gonna be hyped. I'm making a sock. And this time, so my New Year's resolution, my knitting New Year's resolution, was to complete a pair of socks. If you know me, you will know that I do not like knitting socks. Or at least I have not liked knitting socks, because something changed a handful of days ago when I started knitting this sock. This is the Oona socks from 52 Weeks of Socks. So it's a lace pattern sock. I don't know what else to say about it, other than I think I found out the key to me knitting socks or enjoying knitting socks, and it's the yarn. I really enjoy working with this yarn. I have only knit socks in the past with hand-dyed yarn. I love hand-dyed sock yarn. I'm not saying that hand-dyed sock yarn is not the best yarn to knit socks in, but just in my experience, there is something so smooth and silky about this yarn that it's just knitting up so wonderfully. I am working up on bamboo needles. I don't know if you can see. You probably can't. This one here snapped. But I used my nail file because I didn't have another pair of sock needles or 2.25mm needles. So I filed it down and it works fine. Some did arrive today. I ordered 3 new pairs of sock knitting needles, and these ones are aluminium. Aluminium? What is the Nova Metal Knit Pro? I do like my Knit Pros. I think it's because I can get them on Amazon and they are so affordable. And I haven't had many snap on me. I've had a 4mm snap on me and a 2.25mm snap on me, but those are both bamboo. They're metal, so hopefully these should be better. In case you're interested, I got 2 pairs of 2.25mm and 1 2.75mm. I thought maybe I could knit DK weight socks on these, I don't know, or mohair socks. I have just started my heel flap. It's a slip stitch. As far as I'm aware, it's a slip stitch heel because I'm currently slipping and stitching, but I'm not sure how the construction is going to work. I'm just following what the pattern says. Yeah, that's all I have to say really. It's this beautiful grey. This is colour 812. It doesn't have a name. It's 210 meters per 50 grams. And I hope that with my current motivation, I will be on the second sock soon. I'm really enjoying them. It fits perfectly so far, like I've got it on my leg. It fits over my foot nicely, which is trouble I've had in the past. And I'm using the magic loop. That's all I have to say. Thrilled that I might become a sock knitter. Oh, I hope so, because I'm about to show you some acquisitions. Talking of that, let's move on to acquisitions quickly so that you don't have to spend any more of your time watching me than you desire. So as well as 2 skeins of the grey, I also picked up 1 skein of this beautiful blue colour. This is colour 142. And I paired it with the Filcolana Arwetta. A very similar colour. Oh, this is also colour 142. So they're meant to go together. Now, as I just mentioned, this is a sock yarn. It's 20% nylon, 80% virgin wool. This is 100% alpaca, and it is 25 grams, 175 meters. And I thought these two would go really nicely together. And I also got this color. These are colors. So this is the same Filcolana Arwetta in color 278. It's a very pale lilac. It's leaning more towards purpley lilac than pinky lilac. And this is another Alva in the colour 369. So obviously they don't match perfectly, but they are very close. I think knitted up together, you would never know that they are not the same colour. I only got 1 skein of each. So I'm thinking I might have to make a colourwork project, a very small colourwork project. I'm considering maybe some fingerless mitts, but yeah, picked these up in Lil Weasel. My final 3 acquisitions from Lil Weasel are all sock yarns. Not that at the time I wasn't a sock knitter, but these will either be used for socks or I have maybe some plans for some hats and things. This is the Malabrigo sock in the colour Plomo 043. It's this beautiful tonal deep purple. It's not too deep, but it's not very saturated, which I really like. It's got greys in it, which is really beautiful. I'm really excited to work with this. This is 100% superwash merino wool, so there is no plastic or nylon in this. I have no idea what that's going to knit up like, but it's called sock yarn, so hopefully it is suitable for socks. I got the same yarn in a different colour. So this is the same. This is Malabrigo sock in the colour Jasmine 347. And it's exactly the same yarn. It's 100% superwash merino. You get 440 yards or 402 meters per 100 grams. So I picked up this out of what I thought was a bargain bucket, but it wasn't. I don't know why I thought that. Treliz or Treliz, I don't know how you pronounce it. T-R-E-L-I-Z, who is a fiber artist. Hashtag colour is power. This is a beautiful grey sock yarn with bright blues and purples and yellows and a bit of green in there. So I think this is going to be very speckly. The colour name is Aries or Aries. I think that is the traditional name for the Greek or Roman god, but which is interesting because I picked up the colour. My birth sign is I'm an Aries, so maybe it was meant to be. It's 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. You get 400 meters per 100 grams. Oh, I lied. Aries means something different. It's not called Aries. It's called Requiem. Oh, I can't say this word. Requiem for a Dream. I don't know what Aries means. I'm gonna Google that. It must translate to like info or something. Anyway, got that completely wrong. But now you know my star sign. So, Requiem for a Dream. Beautiful yarn. I think this is going to become a hat, not socks. Because I don't love knitting socks up in speckled yarn. I actually told a little lie. I have two more teeny tiny acquisitions. So this is Lil Weasel's very own yarn. This is called Lil Weasel Rainbow, and this is Baby Lil. In the colour, I don't think it has colours, you know. Or maybe the colour's Baby Lil. I don't know, it's brown. And you get 10 grams, and 10 grams is 40 meters. It's 75% merino superwash, 25% nylon. And I got two of them, so I've got 20 grams. I'm either going to use these as cuff edges on something, or as heels and toes on socks. While I was there, I'll insert a quick video. They did have some other mini skeins of their own hand-dyed yarn. I love mini skeins because it means I can make like mittens and things out of them, which I love doing, or little headbands and things. But I think because it was their last day and it was Christmas, oh my gosh, it was so busy, first of all, on the 23rd and 24th. I've never seen Paris like it. It was so busy. Hence, that's another one of the main reasons I didn't post the video, because I wasn't happy with the footage I got. I didn't feel comfortable taking my camera everywhere because it was so busy. But I found some other mini skeins, as you can see here. They only had a handful of colours. They had this beautiful green, and I very nearly bought the green. Green is my favourite colour. I wish I had bought it. I don't know why I didn't now. I think I was hoping to go back, but obviously that didn't happen. So they only had greens and a couple of reds left in the mini skeins. I think if I went at a different time of year, they might have more. I'm not sure. If you are local to Lil Weasel and you happen to be watching this video, do they quite often have more choice in their mini skeins or more choice in their own yarns? I really wished it had been open when I went back, because there is a yarn that I absolutely fell in love with. I can't quite remember the name. I know the colour was Tickle. Here is the footage of the yarn. I will put the information. I think it was Belle Amie yarns or something very similar, or Belle Amy, and these were just beautiful, these hand-dye yarns. There was a whole table of it. Lil Weasel is an amazing shop. It's actually two shops. One side has all the hand-dyed yarns and lots of sock yarns, and the other side has all their commercial yarns like the Fonty and the Filcolana. And one more thing I was really hoping to go back and get was some wool wash, because I don't actually have a specific knitter's wool wash. I have a wool wash, which is for wool and silk, but I wish that I could get one of these ones that I saw, but it wasn't meant to be. I was really hoping to visit my local yarn store in Spain. It's this beautiful little yarn store in a town called Fuengirola. The shop is called Llanas de Nuega, Wools of Norway. It is run by this gorgeous Norwegian lady who lives there, and she gets so many fun yarns in. She's got Isager yarns in there, a lot of Norwegian yarns. I'm not sure if she has Sandnes garn. She has Katja yarns, or the last time I went she did. I was hoping to go, I just didn't get time, but hopefully I'll be able to get out there sometime this year so that I can go and visit her. And that was it for my Christmas and New Year's. Hopefully next time I see you I'll have a couple more finished objects. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate a like or a comment, and if you want to see more, subscribe. Those things really do help the algorithm, and I'd like to share my knitting with as many people as possible. Thank you so much for the continued support. I will see you next time. Bye guys. Look out for the what I'm gonna make in 2024 video, or what I hope to make in 2024, or at least the first 6 months, I don't know. But hopefully I will get on that very soon, and yeah, you guys enjoy it.